much longer. I don't know. That's a bit sounds like excuses, but
Mm.
it was so strange. I mean, at the end, Pino did score a very good goal from a free kick, but even after that, I mean, there were like 5 or 6 minutes added on time. You'd think that they really would have gone for it, sending everybody forward. And even at the end, there was a corner Palace got. Now, what happens in most teams when they're losing? They're desperate to get a goal right at the end. The goalkeeper comes up because he's usually tall and he get everybody in there. But that didn't happen. It was like they just, I don't like to say weren't interested. I mean, I believe they're professionals and it just wasn't right on the day. Things didn't come together at all. But it was a strange one and so disappointing.
It was,
Um,
yeah.
and the other thing, I was starting to say this earlier, so I'll say it now. This kind of strange fact about it. So Palace this season, they're the FA Cup holders, as you know, from last season, and they played Macclesfield, who are a team in the National League North. I mean, there's three national leagues. There's the National League, which is the one that relegated teams from League Two go into. And then if you're relegated from the National League, you go either into National League North or South, depending on where you are geographically. So obviously Macclesfield, Manchester, they're in National League North. But that's 6 divisions below the Premier League, which is a huge gap. Many of the guys at Macclesfield have got jobs. I think teacher and other things. And one other interesting fact, actually, before I say this other thing, 2 weeks before the game, one of their players, Ethan, I forget his other name, but he was killed in a car crash. He opted 2 weeks beforehand, coming away from a game at Bedford Town, Macclesfield playing them, he opted not to go in the team coach. Don't know why, but it was his downfall because coming back, he was involved in a car crash and was killed. And the manager, John Rooney, Wayne Rooney's brother, explained that he had to phone round every one of his team to say what had happened. And of course, they were devastated, as any team of friends would be like that. So again, I think, they probably had him, excuse me, in their mind. And I think some of them said they were playing for him, playing for Ethan. So that was another thing. But the thing is, so Palace were the FA Cup holders. Now, the last time a non-league team beat the FA Cup holders, right? So it would have been presumably in that third round. I've got a frog in my throat today. The last time that happened was in 1909. Now, remember these facts because it's quite interesting. It's quite spooky. 1909, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves were the FA Cup holders in the then First Division. Wolves, right? Big team, 1909.
Mm.
They were the FA Cup holders. They were beaten. This is the last time a non-league team beat the FA Cup holders. 1909. They were beaten by a non-league team then, who were, and you guessed it, Crystal Palace. Now that in
Oh,
itself is quite weird. So Macclesfield, this non-league team, non-league in terms of the main four divisions, beat
yeah.
the FA Cup holders this year. In 1909, Wolves, who were the FA Cup holders, lost to a team that was then a non-league team, Crystal Palace, which is sort of weird. But what makes it even more weird, now that was 1909, that's 117 years ago, right? 117 years ago. Macclesfield are still, at this moment, 117 places below Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Palace in the Premier League, which is if that's not spooky, I don't know what is. I mean, Palace were involved in the. I mean, Palace forevermore now are going to be the team. We'll keep seeing that result and the clips from the game on TV programs. Palace were the last team, the FA Cup holders, to lose first time they're defending the FA Cup. But what an incredible thing, though, the fact that that 117 is relevant. And I thought to myself, if I'd known before last Saturday that those were the facts. The last time that happened, 1909, 117 years ago, to a team 117. I think Palace are going to lose today. I think this is the perfect symmetry, the perfect circle where a non-league team are going to beat the FA Cup holders again. It's sort of weird, isn't it? And
Wow.
I took a bit of comfort thinking, well, if it was written in the stars, if this was fated, we talked about fated, if some things, then maybe that's why Palace lost, not because they didn't play very well. So yeah, I thought that was a strange trivia fact. Really, it really was. I was impressed in conclusion, just to say, with Mark Gay, the captain, super captain, didn't have the greatest game, but then none of them did. But he
No.
went over. He was the only one, I think, who went over to the Palace fans. There were 1,500 Palace fans there, and apologised. And you could actually see on the television, they weren't actually berating him, but you could see some pretty tough comments coming back about what the hell was that? You know, why did no one seem to want to take the game by the scruff of the neck? Surely you're better than these guys with respect to them. They got other jobs as well as being footballers.
Mm.
Obviously he did his best to answer those questions where really there were no answers. Palace just were not at the races that day.
No.
And it's disappointing for the fans' point of view and for the club's point of view to go out so meekly, so weakly to a non-league team. But all credit
Yeah.
to Macclesfield because they were determined from the first minute. If you saw it, there was a head clash, wasn't it? Their captain Dawson
Yeah.
clashed, and he had a bandage on his head afterwards.
Yeah.
It was a sign of their intent to take the game to Palace, and they did. They were the better team in all departments, which
They
is
were.
staggering when you think of a Premier League team against a non-league team. So
Mm.
yes, a disappointing result for Palace. Yeah.
And did you read about how he got to own the team, the owner?
Well, yeah, what I heard him say was he was out on some sort of bender,
Yeah.
and I think he said he was at risk of losing his wife, his marriage, his home, and all that. But he decided to buy the team because Macclesfield Town became defunct.